Calzaghe will fight Bernard Hopkins at the Thomas Mack Centre in Las Vegas on April the 19th.
Oh, you've just seen him there in the studio. And mark the date in your diary now, April the 19th. Joe Calzaghe is to take on Bernard Hopkins in a clash that the whole of the boxing world and the whole of the rest of the world will want to see. It's the biggest fight of 2008 and it is exclusively live on Setanta Sports.
We're very proud to say Joe joins us in the studio now. Joe, good to see you. We watched the press conference as well with everyone else, and there is a massive feeling of excitement towards this fight. We've seen Ricky Hatton in Vegas, now we're going to see you in Vegas. Boxing's come a long way, hasn't it?
Oh, definitely. You know, it was a massive year for British boxing, especially for myself, you know, unifying the title, becoming undisputed champion. And I had the taste of it watching Ricky fight, and unfortunately lost, so I'm on a revenge mission.
Revenge mission for Britain. Well, you did say that you kind of spend most of your time in Wales, so was it just Ricky's fight that kind of tempted you to go to Vegas? Because why now?
Well, basically, I look for bigger goals. You know, at the end of the day, my number one goal is to become undisputed champion of the world. And 10 years as champion, long time, you know, since beat Chris Eubank back in '97. And finally achieved that, beating Mikkel Kessler. Amazing. And then I have to look, you know, what's the next goal. So I was half thinking of going to America. I want to fight Bernard Hopkins, a fight I've been after for years and years. Unfortunately, he won't come to Wales, and he won't come to, well, Britain full stop. So I knew I'd have to go chasing him. So to go to America and to see the atmosphere, how great the fans were supporting Ricky, I thought, yeah, I need a bit of this, because I only want to fight maybe 2 more fights. And it'd probably be a shame to say I've never actually fought in the States. So something I'm excited about, definitely.
We saw the two of you square up at Ricky Hatton's weigh-in. It looks exciting. He's called himself a legend and says he's never going to lose to a white boy. What do you make of that? Yeah,
well, he's just an idiot, isn't he? You know, just to say that comment, you know, I'm not offended. I'm not offended by it, because I know how stupid he's going to look when he does get beat. So I just said I'm not going to lose to a white, black, yellow, green, I'm not going to lose full stop, you know. So he's been beaten 4 times. He calls himself a legend. But believe me, on April the 19th, we will see who the legend is. And I'm going to show everybody that he's going to get beat full stop.
Because he's lost 4 fights, hasn't he? So he can't call himself a legend if you've lost 4 fights.
Well, exactly. You know, what excuses he can have. He didn't lose. He could say the bad decision. But at the end of the day, you know, on his record, he's lost 4 fights. He is an excellent fighter in the past. He's 43. He's getting too old. And I'm going to send him into retirement.
It's all part of the hype, isn't it, really? The Americans seem to hype it up a lot more than the British fighters do. I mean, saying something like that, he probably says that knowing that it's going to get in the papers.
Yeah, definitely. Really it's all pantomime at the end of the day. I wasn't offended, you know. What am I going to say back to that comment? You know, I think, you know, saying something like that, that's up to him. I'll let him play the bad guy in the fight. I'm sure he's going to do what Floyd Mayweather did to Ricky Hatton, screaming and shouting, mouth and slanging him off and all that. But when it comes to it, he can be the bad guy. And then when it comes to April 19th and we step in the ring, then we'll see who the real bad guy is.
You'll talk with your fists.
Definitely, you talk with these, yeah, that's right.
It's a different weight for you. You've got 12.5 weeks to go now. How are you preparing? Because you've got a stone less, haven't you, to lose to get to the fight weight. So how far along are you in your preparations at the moment?
Yeah, listen, I don't build up to like heavyweight. I'm fighting outside my weight division, but normally I make 12 stone. My natural weight's 14 stone. Sometimes 14 stone 3, 14 stone 4, probably about 14 stone right now. So I've only got to lose 1.5 stones instead of 2 stones. It's not a case of having a struggle to make like heavyweight. It's just I don't have to kill myself as much as I normally do to make 12 stone. But I think that'd be good for me, because at the end of the day, I'll just retain more strength and power, you know, because we weighed the day before. But it always takes away some of that power, losing so much weight. And like I said, it's a new goal for me, and I'm looking forward to getting there. Hopefully, I'll have a bit more strength, a bit more punching power, but keeping the same speed and hopefully knocking Hopkins out.
So what do you think about boxing at the moment? It's been a massive year for you as well as Ricky Hatton and for boxing in general. What do you think's changed? I mean, why do you think there's been this kind of resurgence in popularity? It's
amazing. I think it's the best year, 2007, probably boxing's ever had in Britain. And it's come at a time where other sports have struggled, like football has struggled and rugby struggled. And in that way, maybe a lot of people are more interested in boxing. And I think there's 7 or 8 world champions in Britain, which is unbelievable. And there's 3 world champions in my old gym. So it's just a fantastic time at the moment in British boxing. Hopefully 2008 can continue the same as there was in 2007.
And you'll be proud to be part of that legacy, I'm sure, because even if you've said 2 more fights and then you want to stop. So if you do manage to remain undefeated all the way through, not only would you do that, but you've brought boxing on in this country, you and the likes of Ricky Hatton, so far now.
Yeah, definitely. On the personal thing, like I said, it means so much for me to retire undefeated and not just keep fighting for the money and the glory. And I'm 36 in March, and only a very few top fighters have ever retired undefeated. You know, a fight like Rocky Marciano, and that's what we're looking at. And I think I've achieved everything I want to achieve. 10 years of champion, I'm 11th year undisputed champion, and if I can go to America and beat Hopkins and maybe one more fight, you know, to retire with that 0 and never being beaten. And I think the last time I lost was 17, nearly 18 years ago as an amateur. You know, you can't buy that, and that's what I want to do is, like I said, 2 more fights, retire undefeated, and I'd be pretty happy.
I don't know, you seem pretty sure, but I'm not sure if I believe you. I mean, the guy you're about to fight is 43. I mean, you've still got a good few years in you yet, surely.
It's not, yeah, there's not a case of having, I could fight them 40 plus, but there's not a case. It's getting out when you're at the peak and still at the top. And fighters keep fighting until they get beat, and they get beat again. I don't want to get beat. So I want to stay 2 more fights and fight when I'm still at my best and not get beat. So, you know, there's very few fighters that manage to walk away from boxing at the right time, because it's so easy to go that 1 step too far and keep going for that big money and for this and that. So I'm not greedy. 2 more fights, I get enough money to settle myself and family, and then, like I said, it's more important. I've been boxing 25 years, and it is hard work to keep motivating yourself for fights. But I love boxing. I'll always stay involved in boxing. My dad has a great gym, so maybe I'll train fighters with my dad, manage and promote myself. I'll always stay involved in boxing. The good thing is one day you don't always get your head hit. So I'm pretty happy the way I've kept myself. I don't want to start getting a flat nose at this age, so I've got to get out at the right time.
You've said 2 more fights to retire. We covered that. Say you beat Bernard Hopkins. You've got 1 fight left. Roy Jones Jr. wants to fight you. Would you see that as a bit of a damp squib as your last fight if you fought him? Because we saw him fight at the weekend. We know, you know, he is older. I'm not going to say past his best or past his time. It's not for me to say, but that's for you to say. But would you see that as a bit of a letdown if that was your last fight, if you did take him on?
Yeah, probably, because, you know, Roy Jones was a great fighter, but he's not a great fighter anymore. So he's been knocked out twice in his last 5 fights. So I don't see it as a motivating fight for me either. But after this fight, the #1 fight would maybe be Kelly Pavlik, Jermaine Taylor, the winner of them 2. They are excellent fighters, and they box in, I think, next month. So that's a possibility. But first things first, got to take care of business April 19th, and that should be a great fight.
And we just wanted to have a quick look.